Alright, everybody, so we are back with our next episode of TEW9, the Shifting Sands save. We are here on Smackdown, our second episode, so let's take a quick look at last week's episode. We had Tully Blanchard Enterprises in the pre-show take on the Mexicools. We had Sabu defeat Paul London, Batista and Rey Mysterio hyping the main event for the show. We had Randy Orton and Booker T talking about the best of 7 series. We had JBL defeat Road Dogg Jesse James. We had Eddie talking about how he wants to win the Royal Rumble this year. We had Kid Cash defeat Chavo Guerrero and retain the Cruiserweight Championship. Tully debuts his Tully Blanchard Enterprises with Sylvan and Stevie Richards and Mark Henry. We had Chris Benoit defeat Randy Orton. We had Road Dogg talk about his return. We had Suzuki and Dupree defeat the Legion of Doom. We had Booker and Randy kind of have it out about Randy losing to Chris Benoit in their match earlier. We had Eminem defeat Batista and Mysterio in a steel cage to retain the tag team titles. And then we had Mark Henry beat down Batista after the match. So that is everything for this week. So I'm going to head in, book the show, and I will be right back. Alright, everybody, so we are back. We have the entire show booked here. We got 12 segments. So let's hop right into it with our first pre-show match. So in a good pre-show match, AJ Styles, Billy Kidman, and London and Kendrick defeated X-Pac, Nunzio, Sabu, and Jamie Noble. In a good pre-show match, AJ Styles, Billy Kidman, London, and Kendrick defeated X-Pac, Nunzio, Sabu, Jamie Noble in 10-10 when Paul London pinned Jamie Noble with his 450 splash. So the crowd heat is expected and simmering. The wrestling rating got us a 65. The crowd rating got a 59. We got a 70. Paul London had a 69, Kendrick had a 63, Billy Kidman had a 54, AJ Styles had a 74, Jamie Noble had a 62, Sabu had a 69, Nunzio had a 68, X-Pac had a 60. AJ Styles debuted his Phenomenal One gimmick. It got a very good. Billy Kidman did his old school face. It got a great. X-Pac did an old school heel, which got a very good. Tony Schiavone, our new play-by-play on SmackDown, got a great. Larry Zbyszko, the living legend, got a very good. Billy Kidman was off his game, and X-Pac was off his game, so I got rid of Michael Cole and Taz, shipped them out. They are not on SmackDown anymore. I have brought in Tony Schiavone and Larry Zbyszko so that we stop getting penalized for dumb crap. And these two are going to take over as our color commentary here. So let's check out the recap. So AJ Styles Phenomenal is extremely marketable gimmick and will sell far more merchandise than usual. Wins the loss have a greater impact on momentum, and it gets a small boost of microphone. So that's not too bad then. So let's head to our next pre-show match. In a pre-show bout that had fantastic heat and good wrestling, Bobby Lashley defeated Finlay in 10:03 with his Dominator. The crowd heat is expectant and simmering. The wrestling rating got a 65. The crowd got a 70. We got a 69 in it, which isn't too bad. Bobby Lashley had a 63. Finlay had a 68. The only bad thing is probably... and just inconsistencies. Finlay's physical inconsistency and declining physical ability. Well, that's not too horrible. So let's head in to our opening contest of the show. In a bout that had good wrestling, great heat and good wrestling, the New Age Outlaws defeated Suzuki and Dupree in 10-12 when Billy Gunn pinned Kenzo Suzuki with a spike pile driver. The crowd heat is simmering. The wrestling rating got us a 68. The crowd got us a 63. We got a 61. Road Dogg had an 80. Billy had a 74. Rene Dupree had a 56. Kenzo had a 61. Billy Gunn debuted his badass gimmick, and it got inadequate. There were times when there was a lack of psychology on display, and the match had a tendency to drift a little bit. Billy Gunn and Road Dogg had great chemistry when teaming together. They got a tag team specialist bonus, and Kenzo and Renee got a tag team specialist bonus, so let's check out Billy Gunn's marketable gimmick. Can be penalized for losing to gimmicky, cartoonish gimmicks. So, I mean, we don't really have much to worry about there. So, let's head to our next segment, which got us a 79. Oh, I guess I should have. So, no chance in hell blasts through the arena as Vince McMahon walks onto the stage and he grabs his microphone and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friday Night Smackdown." For years, SmackDown has been the home to some of the greatest superstars in WWE history. Men like Batista, Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, Booker T, JBL, Chris Benoit, and many more have made this brand a success. However, in order for SmackDown to continue to thrive, it needs leadership, it needs direction, it needs someone capable of maintaining order among the chaos that exists in the WWE locker room. That's why I have personally searched for the very best candidate available, a man with years of experience managing talent, promoting events, and creating champions. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to the new general manager of Friday Night SmackDown, Jim Cornette. The Midnight Express music hits as Jimmy walks down with his trademark tennis racket, and he grins from ear to ear. "Well, thank you, Mr. McMahon." Folks, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jim Cornette. I've spent my entire life in professional wrestling. I've managed champions, I've built champions, and I've made a career out of identifying talent. And let me tell every superstar back there something right now. I don't care if you're a former world champion, I don't care if you're a rookie, I don't care if you're Batista, Randy Orton, JBL, Chris Benoit, Rey Mysterio, or anybody else. On my SmackDown, opportunities are earned. If you want a championship match, earn it. If you want to headline a pay-per-view, earn it. If you want special treatment, you're talking to the wrong guy. Because I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make SmackDown the best wrestling in the world. And if anybody in that locker room has a problem with that, well then come tell me about it face to face. Ladies and gentlemen, your new SmackDown General Manager, Jim Cornette. So, the crowd heat is hot and rising. The segment got a 79. The first part of Vince introducing Jim got a 90. Jim coming out and cutting his promo got a 67. Jim debuted his authority figure realistic gimmick. It got a great. Jim performed poorly without the segment. Vince McMahon did a masterful job improvising, having the crowd. With the crowd, Vince was very poor trying to improvise, and then the angle got the crowd hotter. His gimmick doesn't do anything. Details is probably for high morale. No, really nothing. Penalized for improvising very badly. So that's about it. So let's head to our next segment. Oof. And about to head good heat and decent wrestling, Kid Cash defeated Juventud Guerrera in 7:46 by pinfall with his dead level. Kid Cash made defense number 2 of the Cruiserweight Championship. The crowd heat is hot. The wrestling rating got a 63. The crowd rating got a 56. And this segment got us a 56. Juventud had a 68. Kid Cash had a 59. And there were times there were definite lack of psychology on display and had the match drift a little bit, and no associated storyline, and a lack of psychology. So that's about the only things that kept this match down a little bit. So let's head to the next segment. Oof. Batista stands with his World Heavyweight Championship draped over his shoulder, looking directly into the camera. Mark Henry, I've been hearing your name a lot lately. I've been hearing about how you're the world's strongest man. I've been hearing about how you're looking for an opportunity at this championship. And you know what? I don't blame you. Every superstar in that locker room wants this title. Every superstar wants to stand where I'm standing. But wanting something and taking it are two very different things. Mark, I've been in the ring with monsters before. I fought giants, I fought legends, I fought men who were supposed to be bigger, stronger, and tougher than me. And every single time, I walked out standing. So if you're thinking about stepping up and challenging me for the World Heavyweight Championship, understand exactly what you're getting yourself into. This isn't a weightlifting competition. This isn't a powerlifting contest. This is a fight. And when that bell rings, and all the talk about being the world's strongest man isn't going to save you. Because the moment you step into my ring, you're stepping into Batista's world. And if you decide to come after this title, the only thing you're going to be looking at in the arena, looking at is the arena lights when the ref counts 1, 2, 3. Mark Henry, if you want a shot, come get one. Just don't be surprised when the animal puts you down and sends you right back to the end of the line. Because I'm not just the champion, I'm the animal. So the crowd heat is white hot now. The segment got us to 67. It advanced the what happens when the animal's hunted, and it lost its heat. The angle ID I used was a success. It got the crowd hotter. Oh, Batista's got a poor gimmick. Well, that sucks. So we're going to have to change that for him. So let's head to our next segment. Oh, shoot. In a wild brawl that had fantastic heat and great wrestling, Chris Benoit defeated Randy Orton in 9:40 by pinfall with his diving headbutt. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 77. The crowd got an 83. The segment got an 82. Benoit got a 75. Orton got a 78. It advanced the 5 times shut up, you only need to win 4 storyline, and it gained heat as well. It also now has tied the series up at Chris Benoit 3 and Booker T 3. So next week, we are going to have the 7th and final match in the series. Randy Orton and Bob Orton Jr. have good chemistry. Chris Benoit was penalized due to going through personal issues. Chris Benoit benefited from having a groundswell of public support. That's probably... He has poor gimmick and inconsistencies in his personal issues attribute. Fantastic. So let's handle this change. The Rabbit Wolverine got a very good. Can be penalized for losing to gimmicky, cartoonish gimmicks and penalized for lengthy angles. So that's not too horrible. So let's head to the next segment. Batista, I heard what you had to say earlier. I heard all the tough talk, I heard all the threats, and quite frankly, I'm disappointed. You see, champions always make the same mistake. They start believing their own hype. They start believing they're unbeatable. And they start believing that because they've beaten everybody before, they'll beat everybody tomorrow. Then a man like this comes along. This is not just another challenger. This is the world's strongest man. This is the most physically dominant athlete in WWE today. And while you've been busy running your mouth, Mark Henry has been preparing for his future. Tell him, Mark. Batista, you keep talking about putting me down. The problem is, nobody's put me down yet. And before I get my hands on you, I got Rey Mysterio standing in front of me. Rey, I respect you. You're one of the toughest men in this business, but respect ain't gonna save you. Heart ain't gonna save you. Speed ain't gonna save you. Because when I get my hands on you, I'm gonna do exactly what I do to everybody else. I'm gonna hurt you. And when I beat Rey Mysterio, I'm coming for Batista. Then at the Royal Rumble, the World Heavyweight Championship is coming home with me. Batista, you said Mark Henry would be staring up at the lights. No. You got this backwards. At the Royal Rumble, you're going to be the one flat on your back. You're going to be the one staring at the lights. you're going to be the one hearing the referee count 3. And when it's over, the era of Batista ends. And the era of the world's strongest man begins. Royal Rumble, new world champion. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment kind of bombed. It got a 65. It advanced the storyline and lost at heat. Tully improvised well. The commentary quality lifted it. The color commentary gave it a boost. Done to a hot crowd. Great gimmick. I'm not sure then. Okay, so let's head to the next segment. Ooh, it bombed terribly. And an extremely short match. Tully Blanchard Enterprises, Stevie Richards, and Sylvan defeated the Highlanders in 5:04 when Stevie pinned Rory with the Stevie T. Sylvan was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everybody else. The crowd is hot and cooling now. The wrestling rating got a 60. The crowd got a 55. The segment got us a 39. Sylvan had a 49. Stevie had a 68. Robbie had a 63. Rory had a 59. They have excellent great chemistry. I definitely missed this match because I would have taken John Laurinaitis off of being an agent, and he could have done a better job. The commentary quality lifted it. The color commentary gave it a boost, and the match cooled the crowd a lot. So let's head to our next segment. Hope we can save the show. Oh, yes. So the lights dim, a familiar countdown starts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Break the Walls Down hits. The crowd erupts. Chris Jericho has made a surprise debut here on Smackdown. Oh, wow. Is all he's got to say. You know, I've wrestled all over the world. I've won championships, I've headlined arenas, but there's nothing, and I mean nothing, like standing in the WWE ring. For months, I've been asked one question: Chris, when are you coming back? Well, the answer is standing right here in front of you. Because Chris Jericho is back on Friday Night Smackdown. And I didn't come back just to say hello. I didn't come back to relive old memories. I came back because there are championships to win, careers to revive, and a whole new generation of superstars that needs to learn exactly why I became the first undisputed champion. The future of SmackDown just got a whole lot more interesting, and then Christian's music hits. Dun, 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 dun. No way. Christian enters the ring. He's got a huge grin. You know, Chris, I was just sitting in the back listening to all that, and I couldn't help but think SmackDown just got more interesting. But it could get even better. Christian Cage back in the WWE? Now I've seen everything. You know, while you've been gone, I've been proving myself all over the wrestling world, but when Jim Cornette called me and told me SmackDown needed some star power, I figured it was time to come home. Well, let me ask you something. What exactly are you planning to do now that you're back? Funny you should ask, because I was thinking about championships. Well, me too. And I was thinking about main events. Well, me too. And then I remembered something. The last time you and I teamed up, well, we were pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Chris, we were great. You know what? Maybe SmackDown Tag Team Division needs a wake-up call. Maybe the WWE Tag Team Champions need a problem they can't solve. Maybe it's time for Chris and Christian. SmackDown, we're back, and we're coming for championship gold. And the crowd erupts. They're so happy. And then SmackDown goes to a commercial. The crowd heat is white hot. We got an 89. The first segment of Jericho coming out got a 93. Then the segment of both of them got a 79. Chris Jericho debuted his inspirational leader gimmick. It got a great. Christian debuted his cocky gimmick. It got great. The return of Y2 Christian started with the segment. The Angle got it a success. Chris Jericho improvised well through the segment. The Angle got the crowd hotter. So Jericho's gives a small penalty to star quality during matches and angles, and Christian's gives a large boost to microphone skills during angles. So that's not too bad. So let's head to the next match here. In a bout that had fantastic heat and great wrestling, Chris Jericho defeated Ken Shamrock in 10-11 by pinfall with his code breaker. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling got a 76. The crowd got a 73. It got us an 80. Jericho got an 80. Shamrock got an 82. Shamrock debuted his badass gimmick and it got an adequate. It advanced the return of Y2 Christian as well. And just holding back, so that's not too bad. So let's. Shamrock is very marketable, losing to comedy gimmicks, penalized for losing to gimmicky cartoonish, penalized taking. Oh, it's just comic relief stuff. Well, that's not ever going to happen. So let's head to our next segment. Man, this just keeps getting better and better, folks. So the camera's backstage. You see Booker T frustrated as hell. Man, I can't believe this. Randy, what happened out there? You had Benoit beaten somehow. He walked away with the victory. What happened? Benoit got lucky. That's what happened. One mistake, 1 second. That's all it took. But don't act like Chris Benoit is better than me, because he's not. I don't care about luck, dog. I care about next week. You know what's at stake next week? The United States Championship. I fought too hard in this best of 7 series to let it slip away now. Next week is the biggest match of this rivalry. Either you beat Benoit and I become the United States champion. After all the work we've done goes right down the drain. Randy, we need you to focus. No excuses, no mistakes, no bad luck. Relax. You both sound like I'm the one. Oh, like you're the one wrestling Benoit next week. Maybe not, but I need you to know that I got your back, because if Benoit beats you next week, I don't become the United States champion. And that ain't happening. Book, listen to me. Tonight didn't go my way fine, but next week, Benoit isn't leaving SmackDown smiling. Benoit cost me a victory tonight. Next week, I'm going to cost him the United States Championship. Now that's what I'm talking about. Next week, Benoit gets beat, and Booker T becomes the new United States Champion. Count on it. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got an 86. It advanced the 5-time shut up. You only need to win 4. Booker T and Sharmell have great chemistry, and Randy Orton and Bob Orton Jr. have great chemistry. So let's head to the next match. Ooh, that sucked. Okay, and about to had fantastic heat and good wrestling. Mark Henry defeated Rey Mysterio in 6-10 by pinfall with his world's strongest slam. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 70. The crowd got a 70. The segment got a 75. Mark got a 71. Rey Mysterio got a 69. There were times when there was a lack of psychology on display and a tendency to drift a little. Mark and Tully are an awkward pairing, which sucks because I had so much planned for them. Rey Mysterio benefited from having a groundswell of public support. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, let's head to our next segment. Ah, man, that bombed too. Well, that sucked. So it was just a 5-minute angle of Muhammad Hassan returning and attacking Rey Mysterio. Muhammad Hassan debuted as a press minority gimmick, and it got an initial rating of very good. It now advanced Muhammad's rise back to the top, and then Muhammad Hassan was penalized due to going through personal effects. His Weasley underdog gimmick got losses do not damage popularity as much as usual. It gives a small boost to psychology during matches and gives a large boost to microphone during angles. So that's not too bad then. So let's head off and finish this. The financial report, we made 238,000. The popularity didn't really change anything. So, that is the end of this episode. I will see everyone in the next one.